Do you know that Australia is home to about 22.7 million people? Yet this country also harbors around 200 million rabbits, meaning the rabbit population is roughly 10 times that of humans. These rabbits have caused such devastation in Australia that the government has declared them a destructive creature. While Australia views rabbits as a harmful pest and has tried, unsuccessfully, every method to eradicate them, China, over the past 30 years, has imported more than 4 million rabbits, not for food, but for a unique experiment in the Kubuqi Desert. The results of this experiment have left the entire world astonished. Welcome back to Psychological Story YouTube videos. Dear viewers, when a desert engulfs fertile land and turns it into desert as well, this process is called desertification, and its biggest victim is the Kubuqi Desert in China. There was a time when the Kubuqi Desert was expanding at a rate of about 500,000 acres per year, meaning it was swallowing nearly that much fertile land annually. At that time, China made every effort to reduce the rate of desertification. In the 1950s and 1960s, several projects were launched. Sand control stations were built, and trees were planted in the desert. But this sea of sand was out of control. Then one day, a local entrepreneur named Wang Wenbao changed everything. Wang invested his money in a strange idea. He began placing dry shrubs in square shapes over hundreds of acres of desert and planting willow trees, which we also call weeping willow or babel-like trees, in between them. Willow is a tree that can survive without much water because its roots go deep, up to 300 feet into the desert soil, to find water. Its wood is used for making paper and furniture, but only if the trees could survive in the desert. Strong winds in the Kubuqi Desert blow sand around, causing trapped moisture to evaporate. To protect the young willow plants from these fierce winds, shrubs were placed around them. In the beginning, everyone laughed at Wang, saying, "Look at this madman planting trees in the desert." But no one knew Wang's true intentions. For the next 3 years, everything went well. But then a new problem arose. The willow trees now needed special care. If they were to be sold to the paper and furniture industries, it was essential to quickly prune new branches so the main trunk could thicken. Doing this work in the desert was both difficult and expensive. And this is where the story takes a new turn, the entry point for rabbits. Specifically, Rex rabbits became part of this story. Rex rabbit is a special breed whose fur is exactly like otter fur, very soft, expensive, and used in luxury clothing. But why were rabbits brought here? Because one small habit of theirs completely transformed the Kubuqi Desert's ecosystem. Rex rabbits love eating the new, tender shoots from willow trees. As they ate these thin branches, the main trunk of the tree grew thicker and thicker, which the paper industry bought at high prices. So, the rabbits got food, and the paper industry got raw material. On one side, the environment won. On the other, the economy won. But this was just the beginning of the story. As you learned earlier, willow roots go 300 feet deep, improving the structural stability of the sand. This meant that during strong winds, sand no longer flew around, and trapped moisture didn't evaporate. Meanwhile, the rabbits began showing their real magic. Rex rabbit waste, their droppings started acting as fertilizer. In China's zero-waste system, it became a valuable product. Second, this Rex breed reproduces the most. One female can give birth to 50 babies in a year, meaning a very high reproduction rate. As the rabbits increased, so did their droppings, making the soil even more fertile. Soon, sand turned into fields where organic vegetables began to grow. Another important trait of Rex rabbits played a key role in this miracle. They digest grass but cannot digest grass seeds. As a result, seeds pass intact through their droppings, and after some time, grass starts multiplying. So the rabbits not only maintained the willow trees but also grew grass, and finally, their fur was sold at high prices. This process became a self-sustaining cycle. The rabbits literally started turning the desert green. After the success of this experiment, Wang didn't stop there. He rented 100 bulldozers and began leveling the desert dunes. He filled pits, flattened the land, and started planting willow trees there too. During this, he encouraged local people to raise Rex rabbits. With help from the Chinese government, he imported and distributed millions of Rex rabbits to locals. Every home became a small farm. The project ran for 10 years and the entire area transformed. Once, there was nothing but sand here. Now it's a lush green zone. The total area of Kubuqi Desert is 18,600 square kilometers, of which, according to UN reports, 33%, or 6,250 square kilometers, has become green. This is the result of over 30 years of hard work. Because of this change, Kubuqi Desert is now known not as the Sea of Death, but as an ecological marvel. But not only the environment changed, people's lives did too. The Chinese government invested 3 billion yuan, about $400 million here, building new villages and providing employment in the desert. Today, livelihoods depend on millions of acres of former desert. Over 2,000 farms are running, and 3 million Rex rabbits are sold annually. A farmer's average annual income has reached up to 9,600 yuan. People who once fled the desert are now becoming wealthy here. According to one estimate, over 100,000 people's lives have changed. In 2017, when media reporters visited, they saw the environment had improved tenfold. Trees, plants, grass, animals, and humans, all living in harmony. But a question arises in everyone's mind. If rabbits can turn a desert green, why are they dangerous in Australia? The truth is, before 1859, there were no rabbits in Australia. Then a British man released just 24 rabbits for hunting sport, so their population would grow and Britishers could come hunt. Within 70 years, their numbers exploded out of control. In Australia, rabbits live in their natural habitat, wild and uncontrolled. In China, they are kept in a controlled environment, used only in ways that benefit everyone. That's why rabbits are a curse in Australia but a blessing in China. But the Kubuqi Desert story doesn't end here. Here, the world's largest solar power image was built, the Junma Solar Power Plant. Spread over 6,000 acres with about 5 million solar panels, it forms the shape of a running horse when viewed from space. According to Guinness World Records, it's the largest solar panel image in the world. By 2022, this plant had generated 2.3 billion kilowatt-hours of energy, saving 7,600 tons of coal and reducing 1.8 million tons of carbon dioxide. But if you think this power plant only produces electricity, you're wrong. It also fights desertification. No sunlight reaches under the panels, reducing evaporation, allowing grass to grow there, and Rex rabbits are kept to graze that grass. Rabbits eat the grass and seed new grass with their droppings. This not only reduces desertification but produces free energy, sells rabbit fur at high prices, and cuts wind speed by 50% due to panels. Less sand displacement means new land naturally becomes fertile. Today, if you visit Kubuqi Desert, you'll see sheep, goats, ducks, and rabbits living together. Grass under panels, clusters of willows around. No one could imagine the Sea of Death becoming a Sea of Life, and it all started with the proper use of a small rabbit. Today, researchers worldwide call this model an eco-economic revolution. According to one report, 50% of the world's area is desert, and 40% is fighting desertification. Today, Europe and America are also trying to learn from China's eco-economic revolution. The message from Kubuqi Desert is clear. If humans and nature work together, even a Sea of Death can become a garden of life. We hope you enjoyed this Our Psychology Plus Stories channel video. Please like and share it generously. Thank you for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.